Are the Warriors about to make a splash in the trade market? With the deadline looming, whispers are growing louder about the team's interest in bolstering their roster with a talented veteran. Imagine adding a player who can elevate our game as we push for another championship run. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss this update. If you love the Warriors and want to stay ahead of the game, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. The Golden State Warriors are once again in the trade conversation, and the buzz is surrounding three players from the Brooklyn Nets: Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dennis Schroeder. With the NBA trade deadline looming, the Nets are open for business, and it seems the Warriors are keen to make some strategic moves to bolster their roster. Cam Johnson is having a breakout season, averaging nearly 19 points per game with impressive shooting splits of 49% from the field, 43% from three, and 91% from the free throw line. This performance puts him among the top shooters in the league, and his contract, which is manageable at $22.6 million annually for the next 2 years, makes him an appealing target. But let's be real, acquiring Johnson won't be easy. The Warriors are hard-capped, meaning they have to be creative to match salaries. That might involve combining multiple players, like the recently injured DeAnthony Melton and others, which could significantly impact the depth of our bench. Then there's Dennis Schroeder. He's quietly emerged as one of the most effective point guards this season, averaging 18.6 points and 6.5 assists per game while shooting 45% from the field and 39% from three. His expiring contract at $13 million makes him a flexible option, and let's face it, we could use a guy who can create his own shot and help stabilize our backcourt. This is particularly crucial now that we've lost Melton for the season. Adding Schroeder could be a game changer, and given the circumstances, I think he could fit right into our system. Dorian Finney-Smith is another name that caught my eye. His ability to stretch the floor with a three-point shooting percentage of 43.2%, along with his defensive versatility, makes him a valuable asset. He's under contract for $14.9 million this season, and with a player option for 2025 to 26. Bringing him aboard could provide not just a short-term boost but also some long-term flexibility. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Warriors are reportedly willing to dangle Melton's expiring salary and even some draft picks to make a deal happen. But it raises the question, are we willing to part with significant draft capital for a player like Johnson, whom the Nets might be looking for the equivalent of 2 first-round picks? To me, that's a steep price, especially considering the potential it holds for our future. You know, as fans, we often wrestle with these decisions. Do we go all in for immediate help, or do we preserve our assets for a more significant move down the line? Personally, I'm torn. While adding a player like Johnson could elevate us now, I worry about the long-term ramifications of trading away our future. This upcoming stretch will be crucial for the Warriors as we look to solidify our playoff positioning. Adding the right piece could be the difference between a deep playoff run and a disappointing early exit. The stakes are high, and so are the emotions. So, I want to hear from you. Do you think the Warriors should pursue one of these Nets players? Or should we hold onto our draft capital and look for opportunities down the road? I genuinely want to know your thoughts on this. The Golden State Warriors are making headlines once again, and boy, do we have a lot to unpack. Fresh off the report from ESPN's Shams Charania that the Miami Heat are open to trading all-star Jimmy Butler, the buzz around the Warriors ramping up their efforts to land him is palpable. Butler has expressed interest in coming to Golden State, and that's not something we can ignore as fans. Imagine the impact of having Jimmy Butler on this roster alongside Stephen Curry and Draymond Green. It's a tantalizing thought, right? ESPN's Bobby Marks proposed a trade that could send Butler to the Warriors in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, Brandon Podziemski, DeAnthony Melton, and a bit of salary filler. It's a hefty price to pay, but when you're in win-now mode, you sometimes have to make difficult decisions. But let's talk about Podziemski for a second. Just a year ago, he was considered untouchable by the Warriors, a promising young player who made the all-rookie first team. However, fast forward to today, and his performance has not lived up to the hype. Averaging just 7.9 points, 3.4 assists, and 4.9 rebounds while shooting a mere 38% from the field this season, it's clear that he's struggled to find his rhythm. Head coach Steve Kerr has even called him out for his in-game mistakes, particularly his fouling habits. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Do you really want to part ways with a guy who still has potential? But let's face it, the Warriors are in a position where they need to capitalize on the talents of Curry and Green while they still can. If that means trading away Podziemski, who, despite his promise, isn't producing at the level we all hoped for, then maybe it's time for a shift. The silver lining in Mark's hypothetical trade proposal is that the Warriors would still retain Jonathan Kuminga, who has shown flashes of brilliance. After dropping a career-high 33 points against the Rockets, it's clear that Kuminga is developing into a crucial piece of this team. Curry has emphasized the need to unlock Kuminga's potential, and keeping him could be vital for the Warriors moving forward. So, what does all of this mean for the future of the Warriors? If they land Butler, they would not only gain a proven superstar but also significantly bolster their chances for another championship run. Butler's defensive tenacity and ability to perform in clutch situations could be the difference-maker as the team pushes through the tough stretches of the season. But at what cost? Are we ready to say goodbye to Podziemski and the potential he carries? I'm genuinely torn about this. On one hand, you want to bring in a player of Butler's caliber to maximize the championship window with Curry and Green. On the other hand, trading away a young talent like Podziemski might come back to haunt us. You can't help but wonder if the Warriors could find a way to make this work without giving up Podziemski, especially considering the investment they made in him just a year ago. And you, what do you think? Is this the right move for the Warriors? Would you be willing to part ways with Podziemski to bring in a star like Butler? I want to hear your thoughts, so drop your opinions in the comments below. It's an exciting time to be a Warriors fan, but it also comes with tough decisions that could shape the future of our beloved team. Don't forget to like this video, share it with fellow Warriors fans, and subscribe to the channel for all the latest updates on the team. And hey, make sure to hit that notification bell so you won't miss a single piece of news as we navigate through this thrilling season.